So welcome back. Let's start with our configuration reader. The configuration reader, it's used to read from our configuration properties. You could also read it from different files and you could make it dynamic. But for this framework that we are working on, for now, we're going to read only from our configuration properties, and we're going to hard code it to read only from the configuration properties. If you have a framework where you need to read from multiple different places, we could also I could do a quick code. Yeah, I could do a quick utility method to show you how you'll be able to read from, make it dynamic to read from whatever file you want it to read. But for now, for our base framework, we're just going to read only from our configuration properties. Okay, so let's begin. The first thing we're going to have to do is we're going to create the properties object. Okay, and let's do that. I'm going to make it private, and I'm also going to make it static because I do want it to load before everything else. Okay. Okay, and now let's create the object called new properties. There we go. Okay, so this is our properties object. Now let's do our static block here. Inside our static block, we're going to do a try and catch as well. And then okay, now let's start with our try block here. So inside our try block, I am going to be using file input stream, like I said, only because I want to hard code it to read from my configuration properties. Okay, so we're going to do file input stream, and you see that was from Java IO file equal new file input stream. Okay, and then we're going to read okay, so we're going to read it from our configuration properties. Very important to note, okay, if your configuration properties has uppercase and uppercase, or however you do it, it needs to match this name here. Okay. All right, now let's load it. Properties.load, and we are going to load this object there, and we're going to load file. Now in our catch block, we're going to do actually, before we go to the catch block, let's just close it once it's loaded. Okay, and okay, so now that closes. Okay, so now let's do our catch block. I think I'm going to do an IO exception here, and then I am going to do a print statement so we could see what is going on. And we're going to say we could say something funny. Oops, no file here. I'm kidding. I'm just gonna say file not found. All right, now at the moment we didn't add a login, like log4j or something to log our exceptions. So temporarily, let us just track it using a print stack trace. I think that would be good for now for us to track it. But once we add log4j to this framework, we're going to change this line of code and connect it to our log4j. But for now, let's use this. This also does the job. As our framework gets more complicated, we definitely would have to change it, because this is for a smaller framework like what we're doing, this works. Larger frameworks, it's better to use a logger. All right, now Let's create a utility method that we're going to use the object to read, and we're going to use the properties object to read from the file. So let's go ahead and do that right here. Now, as you could see, this is our static block here. Okay, we have to come outside of our static block, and we're going to do public static, and actually let's make it into a string because we're going to use the get property. And what are we getting? We're gonna get a keyword. And inside this, we're going to return okay. So now this is what we're going to use to read it. So this is our configuration properties file. I'm just going to, like, of a little habit, I just like to put a little note on what the method does. So let's just say this class is a reusable logic to read from the properties file. Okay, that's all we're gonna say. All right, that's our configuration properties. Let's end the video here. It is a little bit long, so I'll end the video here. And of course, what do? We have two files that we made changes to. We're just going to do configuration.properties because we're not going to touch our driver class yet. So we're just going to say updated class. Okay, that's all we're going to do. Now we're going to push it. You see, we're going from origin to mtester, which is on our GitHub, and we're going to push it because we're not going to push the master. We're just pushing it to our branch. All right, so that's it, guys. Again, like, comment, and subscribe. And on our next video, we're going to do our driver. Thank you.